Well, thank you. And thank you for coming today. And I really mean it. I want to thank you for coming today, even though it was recently said that I don't know what I'm talking about. So, I invite you to go back to school with me for the next 20 minutes. We're going to do what we call in education a flipped classroom, which inverts the traditional teaching methods by moving homework into the classroom, and then we're going to do something we call a call and response, and we'll do all that together. This will help you learn about the state of Atlanta Public Schools, the quality of public education and why we should invest in it, and a little bit about who you've hired to lead this turnaround. And let's talk about truth, right? Isn't it the first question on the four-way rotary test? The truth is the stakes are high in public education, especially when we get it wrong. Every 26 seconds, a student drops out of high school in the United States. In 2011, our nation lost an additional income opportunity of another $154 billion because of student dropouts. Just last week, the Wall Street Journal reported that people with college degrees are the only group to see a rise in their net worth from 1989 to date. Wealth losses were most severe for those without a high school diploma and those who attended college but did not finish their degree. And I'm going to share with you today some data that will bring it home for you, hopefully make it more real, because I'm going to talk right about this region. I know this room includes business and community people from around Atlanta as well, so these numbers actually concern all of us. With the latest research available based on the class of 2012, the Alliance for Excellence in Education found that only about 64% of those students across the Atlanta metro area and Georgia ever earned a high school diploma. Now, if we manage to get that number to something more like 90% of just one class of students, that would be about 21,000 additional students with high school diplomas and 39,000 statewide. Why am I giving you these numbers? Because they have a real economic impact. And this is what it would look like. About 1,900 new jobs in our region, 3,250 for Georgia, $349 million in increased gross regional product, and $606 million for the state. $271 million in gross annual earnings in our region, and $457 million statewide. $500 million in home sales for our metro area, and $824 million for Georgia. And the benefits actually go on. And this is just a reminder, it's for our region for 1 year and one class of graduates. So the rewards are high for net worth and economic development. Therefore, I submit to you that one of our community's best stimulus packages is the high school diploma. If you look at the potential economic opportunities to lift our region, that should be reason alone to help me, this school board, our district, our schools, our families, our children to overcome any barrier, any obstacle, and any distraction to our mission. You ready for the call and response? Raise your right hand. Raise your left hand. Right hand. Left hand. Both hands. Now wave them in the air like you just don't care. If you love Atlanta Metro children, say, oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Repeat after me. With a caring culture of trust and collaboration, every student will graduate ready for college and career. That is our new mission. That's what I wake up every day and do. That's what I'm planning to do every night when I go home. This means that when we work toward this every day, I make a personal commitment that the culture of this school community will change to bring those words to life for every child of every school year, of every moment. But we face considerable challenges in Atlanta Public School and a pathway to that mission. I have inherited a district that indeed has been effectively broken. You know it, and I know it. And all this didn't start with just the cheating scandal and our loss of the district's organizational integrity. To be fair, it's really been in the making for quite some time. I'm not judging, I'm not criticizing, I'm not blaming. I want to give you the facts so that we can fix it. Now, I would contend that given what I've seen, when I look at all the urban districts across the country I've worked in, and I look at all my colleagues who are working across the country in urban education, that Atlanta Public Schools has the lion's share of broken stuff, with a long-standing, insufficient control of its own operating mechanisms for its infrastructure, contradictory charters and statutes and policies for guidance, and a disparate educational philosophy for how we're going to do improvement. Now, even with these systemic, unsorted issues, we are still getting started right now with this new administration. It began with the ACP's support of my transition that allowed me to recruit what I think is the best team in America, and many of them are from right here in Atlanta. That support enabled us to hit the ground running, and we have really tried to tear it up for first semester. I've been laser focused, not only on that mission, but our strategy map for how to get there. Academic programs, talent strategy, systems and resources, and culture. This roadmap has been the guide for us achieving our vision to be a high-performing school district where students love to learn, educators inspire, families engage, and the community trusts the system. Now, here's some highlights of the return on that investment. In academic programs, we have a community-endorsed, board-approved strategic plan. We've actually completed a successful attendance campaign for the first day of school, resulting in 5,000 more students attending their first day compared to previous years, addressing the findings of 3 significant, and I mean humdingers of audits: special education, equity, and federal programs for children in poverty. We've adopted a high school recovery plan for dropouts. For talent strategy, we're getting it right. We're getting a current and accurate count of our employees. Think about that. We didn't know how many full-time and part-time people were actually working for us. That's how broken the system was. We are now able to fill our substitute rates. We're able to fill 100% of our principal and executive leadership positions and roles. The substitute fill rate is an increase. It's now at 99%. Ask any teacher and any principal. This is very important to us. That's an 18 percentage point increase compared to previous years. For systems and resources, we embarked on a multi-year central administration reduction plan to right-size the system now that families are starting to exercise a little bit more choice. Launching a new accountability office to ensure we have data and testing integrity. And we just received a very prestigious National Financial Award for the first time, and it was because we restructured our finance and human resource departments for best practice. And for culture, culture. Creating employee and community relations offices and services to address all these concerns that people have been hearing about over the years. We've actually closed more than 200 cases in first semester. 200 cases that in any other year they would have turned into grievances and lawsuits. We've instituted ethics training that requires 100% employee completion from all of our employees. If they don't do it, they are now fired. Last but not least, we have embarked on a district-wide culture shift from adult-centered to child-centered. And as the saying goes, culture eats strategy for breakfast every single day. In other words, I can have the best strategic plan in the world, but if we don't commit to changing the culture of APS inside and out, that means all of us, the adults in this room and all across our region, on how they engage with APS. That's policymakers, business leaders, politicians, faith community, parents, partners, you name it. We have to live the mission together. That's all of us caring enough to take effective action to actually change student outcomes. That's your behavior, that's your attitude, that's your thinking, and that's what you actually do. So moving to a child-centered culture involves the balance of three things. It's a third, and a third. Academic achievement, which actually does involve some rigorous coursework, high expectations, success in grades, accountability and testing. We can't run away from that. That is our core business. It also involves practical skills and rich experiences that bring things like co-curricular activities, fine arts, athletics, world languages, and exposure to and training in career and technical educational environments. But what you, as members of this Rotary, understand to your very core, or you would not be this strong globally, is that there are other standards that we must educate our children to work and live by. It's authentic engagement for all that promotes fairness, goodwill, and well-being. And it comes for us in K through 12 or pre-K through 12 from a simple, no-cost concept. It's called hope. And research shows that the time individual adults spend with kids reinforcing those things that make them feel hopeful about the future is a powerful motivator. Hope is a stronger predictor of success in college than GPA, SAT and ACT scores and grades. So when students feel hopeful, they do better in school and life. Students are best prepared for those rigors when they have high hopes for the future, are deeply involved in and enthusiastic about school. They feel emotionally and physically well enough to take advantage of the actual learning opportunities we create. It's not complicated. A child will be 30 times more engaged in school if they can make two simple statements. I go to a school that builds on my strengths, and I have a teacher who excites me about the future. Now, working on a child-centered culture in our schools makes the district stronger to doing our part in supporting Atlanta as the capital of the South to attract and retain the best and the brightest from all over this country to this great American city. And Atlanta is a legacy city, just like my hometown of Selma, Alabama. Our city cannot get stuck with a reputation and certainly not a legacy of a global city with an ineffectual, unethical, broken school system. It affects me deeply because although Selma is where I was born and raised, I am a daughter of the Deep South. I'm coming to Atlanta, and being in Atlanta for me is an honor. My family and many of my long-term friends live here in this city. I am invested. I certainly want this city to be considered among the few great American urban cities known for a strong public school system where businesses know they can move here, have a solid workforce, and a high quality of life. So when my days get tough, and I get tested, and recently I have been, and I always will be, I reflect on why Atlanta bothered to not only recruit me, but hire me for the turnaround of this system. I think people knew my experience. I think they knew my track record. I think they knew my heritage and my upbringing. And they knew that would allow me to quickly navigate Atlanta's context and then perform the heavy lifting required that this district needs to actually get things done. My experiences growing up in Selma helped me to tackle challenges. You can expect to see integrity, passion, and grit. I love my job. It gives me the courageousness to stand in the face of adversity and the recognition of realities about how much more we still have to overcome, and in some cases, put the sweat equity in to just do it again. It helped me at an early stage in my career to actually determine what I believe in and what I stand for and what I really am willing to fight for. I have invested in that with my education and my professional experience. And I now use that as strengths to actually champion education without judging for any family who wants to make a choice about the future of their child. It is no longer going to be acceptable under how I've been raised and what I believe I am truly expected to do here in Atlanta. It will not be acceptable for Atlanta Public Schools to be seen still as an ineffectual government agency bleeding or misusing money, but an effective steward of hard-earned public dollars and community trust. It can no longer be viewed as a gateway for agendas that have absolutely nothing to do with educating children, but a leading developer of the next generation of leaders and workers for our city, region, state, and this country. It can no longer be regarded some general employment agency, but a professional institution of qualified educators and support staff who want to come and work with us on our mission to prepare kids for college and career. So I believe my job, and actually the job of a community that wants a strong public school system, must be to ensure that students have access to a quality education in a high-performing district. With that high-quality education, we have the power to break the cycle of poverty, to break the cycle of ignorance, to break the cycle of violence, to break the cycle of corruption. And that happens because when you get a quality education, a student knows that those skills will give them choices in life. Think about it. Academic skills so that they graduate on time and can actually be successful in college. Career skills so they're prepared to be successful in a rapidly evolving, technologically driven, ever flattening world. Decision-making skills so they participate as informed citizens in a democracy with the smarts and the heart to be better leaders than we ever were. Being from Selma, it's true, maybe you can tell, I have a little bit of an old soul in me, and it may sound old-fashioned, so I hope my 87th birthday boy is back there supporting that. I believe that a public education system is the cornerstone of our democracy. Part of the celebration of being in America is that anybody can put their kid in a system in any city or county in any state. And if the system works well, that child's life and the community is better for it. But I cannot do it alone. I can honestly say I don't know how each of you have settled on how you want your relationship, if you want a relationship, with Atlanta Public Schools, but I want you to know that I am indeed encouraged by what I've seen. We've established a new office of partnerships and development. It's a one-stop shop, and you should get to know its executive director, Katie McDowell, in fact, is here with me today. And some of you may know Katie. The Atlanta Families Awards for Excellence in Education. It's a streamlined approach, so it'll make it easier and hopefully more rewarding for you as we continue to transition in APS. But I'm actually even more encouraged by the leadership of some other people like Russ Harden and Elisa Phillip at the Woodruff and Community Foundations, who have taken the lead to dramatically change the game as it relates to access to post-secondary education, including college prep, scholarships, and advisement for our students. I know some of you are from Coca-Cola who are going to help us think about rebranding. Georgia Power supported us with an executive on loan. Delta Airlines, bless you today for talking to us about the inclement weather. They were very helpful. And actually, Georgia Tech has been a pretty sweet partner. President Bud Peterson has offered automatic admission and full scholarships to all of our valedictorians and salutatorians in Atlanta Public Schools. And this is just the tip of the iceberg, right? I mean, the range of stuff that people have been doing, coming forward, talking about what they like to see. It's just been so encouraging. But most recently, Atlanta actually received a national call to be part of a new public education national movement where we had only 48 hours to pledge not only our support, but that we would raise the money for every high school student to see the movie Selma and experience this pivotal moment in history. And I'm just so proud to say that Atlanta stepped up. I really want to thank Dr. Michael Lomax, the president and CEO of the United Negro College Fund, Hala, I'm going to get her name, Modelmog, the president and CEO of the Metro Atlanta Chamber, and Dr. John Wilson, who I think is here today, I saw him earlier, president of Morehouse College, and the Atlanta Partners for Education, who really worked hard to bring the community together. Huge range of donations, tens of thousands and $16, and we were thrilled to have it all. It was so amazing that we not only made our $100,000 goal and pledge, we actually were able to do more because people kept giving. Now 13,000 high school and middle school students in Atlanta have been able to go and see the movie and make it part of our social studies curriculum for free. So the overwhelming response further revealed an Atlanta to me that I knew was there, and it's just so encouraging to see it surface in so many ways, that one profits most who serves best. So for me, this is the best and most rewarding job in the city, and I give you my solemn promise that I will do my part to restore integrity and quality to Atlanta Public Schools, pledging to tell the truth about our district, pledging to be fair in my duties as superintendent, pledging to promote goodwill, modeling the behavior we expect our staff and students to be, and pledging to end every day knowing that I worked for the benefit of all students in Atlanta Public Schools. Thank you, and I welcome your questions.